Okay, let's sit for a few minutes of quiet together, please. I'm really glad to see you. And I'm looking forward to our practice this morning. We're going to work into understanding better Jalandhara Bandha, which means we're going to work with the neck, the throat, the upper chest, and the shoulders. So please rest your hands in your lap. You're welcome to close your eyes. In the pranayama that we've been practicing over the last couple of weeks and that we'll continue exploring, one of the intentions is to reacquaint ourselves with a quality of inner stillness. It's actually like magnetically pulling you back home, this inner stillness. So more than creating it, we are remembering it. But sometimes we have to cultivate our relationship with it by visiting more often, not less frequently, but more frequently. And then we start sensing that inner stillness is actually part of our home. There are other components to that home as well, but this inner stillness is one of the things that magnetically pulls us back home. Then we become less likely to disturb that home because we cherish the inner feeling of being there and how it allows us to also be present then for others. Just as you take your seat, try to sense where you are in relationship with your inner stillness this morning. Then begin to make the most subtle form of your ujjayi breath. So by the most subtle, I mean it's not your most dynamic breath. It doesn't have the loudest whisper sound in the inner ear, but it has a quality, we hope, a quality of consistency and elegance. And as if you were working with a dimmer switch, start to notice the most subtle form of the breath and how much between subtle or dynamic you need today to be present, at least in these moments. The more subtle sensations that we're able to give attention to, hypothetically, our minds have more clarity, less distractions or attachments. Sometimes we have extra attachments or distractions, and we need the ujjayi breath to be a little bit less subtle, more dynamic. And try to sense where that is on the dimmer switch of your own efforts right now. Also observe in the pauses of your breath. So the height of the inhale to the pause, the descent of your exhale to that pause. A place to rest your attention when what you need is simply the most subtle form of the breath. You can sense the air at the upper back of the throat, kind of like the back of the sinuses. The days when you need your attention and your efforts to be more dynamic, in other words, to keep the distractions and the attachments at bay during your practice, on those days, you may have a more dynamic breath and your attention might better serve you to be down in the pelvis and the low belly, sensing the inhale and the exhale, using the musculoskeletal body as a place to come into attention. So choose based on what you sense about yourself right now. And from time to time in class, we will come back to sense this again, and you might find yourself needing less of the dynamic, benefiting more from the subtle, and being able to rest in that inner stillness a little bit longer, a little more peacefully. And please bring your hands together at your heart, and we'll chant the Gayatri mantra this morning. Om Bhurva Swaha Tat Savitor Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimoi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurva Swaha Tat Savitor Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimoi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurva Swaha Tat Savitor Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimoi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart and release your hands. Please bring your head up to neutral, and we'll start with Bastrika so we can pick up our practices from the last couple of weeks, and then I'll introduce this work for the neck and shoulders. This is a rapid, strong exhale out the mouth like you're blowing out a candle many times. Let's begin. Exhale completely through the mouth. Inhale through both nostrils, going up to suspension at the top of the inhale. Release the bandhas. Exhale through both nostrils, long, steady, and smooth. And deeply relax. we're going to repeat that. Let's begin. Exhale. Inhale up to suspension. As you suspend, lift the heart, brighten your chest, tone the internal throat and the deep low belly, inward and upward. Then exhale through both nostrils, steady and smooth, releasing the bandhas as you exhale. Inhale again, both nostrils up to suspension. Now close the right, exhale left nostril. Inhale left nostril. Suspend. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Suspend. Exhale both nostrils. Deeply relax. Now we're going to do inhale, the hands go up, your palms will be open, and then exhale, you pull down. As a reminder, you are warriors in training. This is a part of your training. And my teachers way back some 25 years ago, they used to say things like, keep going, even if you think your arms are going to fall off. You have to keep going, even if you think your arms are going to fall off. And I was 25 years younger, so the likelihood of my arms falling off was more slim back then. This is through the nose. Inhale, exhale briskly through the nose. Let's begin. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to suspension. Exhale through both nostrils, long and slow, steady and smooth. Inhale both. Suspend. Close the right, exhale left. Inhale left. Suspend. Keeping the heart lifted brightly and the mind inward and quiet. And close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Suspend. Exhale smoothly and completely through both nostrils. And deeply relax. Now we're going to do Kapalabhati. This is considered a kriya. Once we start Kapalabhati through both nostrils, then we're going to use the left, right, because you've been learning this one. So what I'm going to recommend is that you start like what happens when you go left, right is that you're using only half the exit pathway. So it's likely that your Kapalabhati will go a little bit faster. And each brief exhale has a very slight automatic wisp of an in-breath, but you're not making the inhale happen. So let's do about 10 times both nostrils and then we'll go side to side. Exhale. Inhale both nostrils. Close the right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. exhale through both nostrils. Deeply relax. Now, just as we're sitting, let's take the right arm around behind the small of your back, roll the right shoulder back. Yeah. And then take the left hand on the left side of the neck. And I'd like you to, don't pull your hair, please. I'd like you to pull down and then secure your fingers at the upper part of the collarbone at the base of your neck. So you're pulling down right there. Okay. Roll the right shoulder back. And then slowly lift your chin. And slowly lift the base of your skull. Keep the neck long and the upper back lifted. So the movement is really your head on top of your spine. Raise your chin up. Keep the heart lifted and your cervical spine long and vertical. And then bring the chin down. Lift the base of your skull. So the neck isn't actually the moving thing here, the head is. Do it one more time. And then down. Release your hands. Take the left arm around behind you. Take your right hand to the left side of your neck. Pull the fingers down and smoothly press down there where the top of the collarbone, the upper part of the shoulder, the base of the neck are. And go up with your inhale. And bring the base of the skull up so your chin is coming down. And then raise your chin up. And then lift the base of your skull. And do that one more time, please. Keep the left shoulder pressing back as you lift the base of your skull. Okay, and then release. Now wrap the right arm around behind you again. And this time, bring your fingers, and as you press, then tip your left ear towards your left shoulder, roll the right shoulder back. Bring your chin to touch as you could, whatever distance you can do it, your right collarbone. And then on the diagonal, open your chin away from the collarbone. And again, think of it as your head moving on top of your spine. And do that one more time. You might be getting to know parts of your neck that you didn't realize were tense. So my recommendation is that you treat them with respect, with kindness. You release your right arm, bring your head up, wrap the left arm around behind. Take your right hand, glide down. So you're securing these muscles as best as you can. Tip your right shoulder towards your right ear, your chin towards your left collarbone. And going up. So your head stays on this diagonal where your right ear is heavy towards your right shoulder. Whatever amount it can go, right? And that's going to be different side to side and person to person. And then release and bring your head upright. Okay, Now come up to standing, please. Let me switch my camera here. So we're going to continue some work with the neck and shoulders because I'd like to explore Jalandhara Bandha towards the end of this practice in a way that can hopefully help your meditation to feel really quiet. Okay, let me get this set. I have to check that that camera's not going to cut my head off, and sure enough it is. Okay. So come up to standing at the front of your yoga mat. Reach back and interlace your fingers or hold a yoga strap if that's what you need. Sometimes clasping the hands is hard for people. And then I'd like you to bend your elbows, squeeze the shoulders back, and squeeze them back so you really have a sense that it's your shoulders moving. You can even put your knuckles against your sacrum. So you've really got the shoulders back, elbows back, but not the wrists moving just yet. Okay, and then again, root down through your tailbone, but lengthen up through your chin. Now lift the base of your skull. Bring your chin towards your sternoclavicular notch. With both shoulders back, bring your head up to level. Keep the left shoulder back, turn your head as far as it can go to your right. Roll to center. Press the right shoulder back. Turn your head as far as it can go to your left. Roll to center. Release both arms and put your hands in Anjali Mudra. And ujjayi breathing, please. Inhale your hands down, palms face out, rise up. Exhale, chair pose. Okay, inhale, lower your left arm, twist right. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, lower your right arm, twist left. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, left toes straight back. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, open your arms, palms face down, gaze to your right as far as you comfortably can. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, left foot forward, heart forward. Exhale, right toes back. Inhale, glide up. Exhale, arms wide, gaze to your left as far as you comfortably can. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward and down. Inhale, step forward, heart forward. Exhale, deeply bow towards your legs. Inhale, rise up smoothly. Okay, exhale, hands to your heart. Reach back and clasp your hands. Inhale, raise your chest and heart. This time, exhale, little standing back bend. Open the throat if your neck is comfortable with that. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, bow forward. Inhale, glide your heart forward. And exhale, release your fingers to the floor, Uttanasana. You can also use your blocks, of course. Inhale, glide forward. Okay, left toes back. Reach back and clasp your hands. Inhale to rise. And exhale, bow forward without touching the floor. Keep your hands clasped. Raise your arms towards the ceiling. Inhale, rise up. So your crescent lunge, hands clasped, has a little back bend at the top. You can open the throat if your neck is comfortable with that. And exhale, glide forward, keep the arms clasped. And let's move smoothly so that you have a sense, inhale to go up, a sense that you're also inviting smoothness to your mind, your body, not only the breath. Exhale, glide forward, hands still clasped. It probably feels like a balance activity to some of you. Let's go up one more time. Inhale, open your heart, your throat, and your gaze. And then exhale, release the clasp of your hands, and you can lightly touch the floor. Inhale, left foot forward, heart forward. Let's exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. I'm going to be asking you to change the clasp of your hands this time. So exhale, right toes back. When you reach back, interlace your fingers with your unusual clasp. And then inhale, rise up, press down into your left heel for stability. Open. Exhale, glide forward. Keeping the legs stable is going to give you more confidence to work with the upper body and to keep a smooth, steady breath. We're doing this 5 times. So inhale to rise. Exhale, coming forward. Remind yourself that the stillness that we're working towards in yoga practice is actually already in us, magnetically pulling us back home. And at times we need things that require more dynamic attention in the present so that we aren't so distractible. At other times we need only subtle objects of attention, like the sound of the breath. And that's a day at which, or a practice in which our mind is less distractible. So we don't have to make ferocious effort on those days. Here's the last one, we're going up. And then exhale, glide forward, release your fingertips to the floor. Inhale, step your right foot forward. And exhale to bow towards your legs. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to your heart. Samastitihi. And we're going to add a twist to this. I'm going to ask you to place 2 blocks at the top of your mat, and you'll eventually have both blocks potentially on one side or the other. I'm making a guess that most of you don't have 10, 12 yoga blocks like I do in my room here. So we'll use 2. We'll stack them when we need to. We'll put them back when we're ready to. You join your hands. Okay, inhale down, wide and up. Chair pose, exhale. Inhale, twist right. Put the left arm between your shins and press against the left shin to support the twist. As you stay in the twist, try to check that both heels are grounded and your knees are still symmetrical. You don't have your left knee forward of your right knee. Use the strength of your left arm against your left knee and shin to support your twist. Think of your right arm as a decoration. In other words, the right arm is not grasping to make the twist happen. Let's breathe in one more time. And then exhale to chair pose. Inhale, twisting the other way. So place your right arm on the inside of your right shin and twist to your left. And keep the breath smooth during the twist. So the strength of your right arm pressing against your right knee and shin, we want that to be stabilizing for your physical body. And then hopefully your mind can listen to something subtle, like the sound of the breath in the inner ear, and not be too distracted by the physicality of the pose. You then exhale, return to chair pose. Inhale, rise up, upward hands pose. Now with steady legs, exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward through your heart. Exhale, take your left toes straight back. Inhale, rise up as you would normally for your crescent lunge. And now bring both hands together like an arrow and slide down the outside of your right leg. And you slide as far as you comfortably can, given your flexibility and also your clothing, if it's got the slide capacity. Now, keeping the left arm strong, press your left elbow against your right thigh or knee and open your twist to your right. Okay, press into your right heel. Exhale your right hand to match your left. That's your arrow. Now inhale, rise up. Remember, you are warriors in training. And exhale, release. Let's step forward. Please inhale, heart forward 2. And then exhale, right foot back. So this is your basic lunge. Complete the exhale. Inhale, glide up, crescent lunge. Join the arms like an arrow and slide your right arm down the outside of your left leg. As you slide down, press your right arm deliberately back into your left leg and your left leg into your right arm. And then twist. When you're pressing your right arm against your left leg, there is some strength required there. It's a different kind of strength, so stick with that. To the best of your ability, make it steady, consistent. Yeah, and then exhale, lower your left hand to meet your right. There's the arrow. Press into your left hip and heel. Rise up. And exhale to release. Lightly touch both blocks. Place your hands firmly then and step backwards to your downward facing dog pose. Okay, please inhale through your nose and come forward to plank pose. And then exhale, glide back to downward facing dog pose. Inhale, glide forward to plank pose. And again, exhale, glide back to downward facing dog pose. And one more time, inhale, come forward to plank pose. Using the method of stepping over one foot and then the other, let's exhale to seal pose. You have extra long arms because of your blocks. Inhale, open your throat, lift your chin and your gaze. And then exhale, gaze forward and roll down to cobra pose. Now inhale, glide back up to seal pose. Exhale, gaze forward and glide down to cobra pose. One more time, inhale to go up. Exhale, gaze forward, then come to plank pose, gaze down between your thumbs. And rise back to downward facing dog pose. With your next smooth exhale, float your right foot forward, touch your left knee down, make the blocks tall, press into both blocks and glide up to Anjane Asana with your fingers pressing down. So I'd like you to sense almost like you can have seal pose in the chest and heart here. So when you're pressing down, make the blocks closer if you need to, and press with your fingertips. Straighten your elbows. Roll the chest and heart up, shoulders back. Keeping that downward pressure from your fingertips is also intended to help you secure the shoulders back, but as well to tone the pelvic floor and the deep inner abdomen. And then exhale, roll forward. Let's make the two blocks medium, right? And step backwards, downward dog pose. And exhale, left foot forward. Come down to your right knee. Make the blocks tall. Press down. Inhale to go up. Straighten the elbows and think of seal pose. Notice the quality of the breath that you have right now, and also the quality of your attention for the breath. And then exhale, glide down, make the two blocks flat, and inhale backwards to downward dog pose. Okay, this time exhale, come forward to plank pose, gaze down between your thumbs. Inhale, step over one foot, seal pose. Exhale, Bhujangasana. Inhale, seal pose. Exhale, plank pose. Gaze between your thumbs. Inhale, downward facing dog pose. And then exhale, step your right foot forward, please. Okay, this is where we're going to introduce a new pose for this morning. Not new to you guys, but new this week. So turn your left heel flat behind you. So that's like Parsvottanasana. So the right leg straight in front and the left leg straight with your foot angled behind you. Place the right block flat. Place your left block flat on top of that. Take your left hand to the block, right hand to the block, and press down. Okay, as you're pressing down with your right hand on your left hand, make both shoulder blades wide across your back. Lift the base of your skull. So think of the back hemisphere of your body as more broad here, not more collapsed. So your face is not moving towards your fingers right now. Notice what it is for you to keep the base of your skull lifted. And then with your left hand secured on your block, take your right hand around the small of your back like we did earlier when we were sitting. Roll your right shoulder back and begin twisting to your right with your heart, your collarbones, the strength of your left arm rooting down. And gaze now, slowly gaze across to the left side of your mat. So your chest and heart are rotating to the right, and your head and your eyes are rotating to the left. You can take a deep breath in, and then exhale, bring your nose back towards your center, gaze towards your left hand, place your right hand there. And then please bend your right knee, set up your two blocks, and step backwards to your downward dog pose. And exhale, take the other foot forward. Okay, so left foot forward, it's a tiny step in with the back foot, so it's not the same as your crescent lunge distance. And the left foot is straight ahead. Right foot is on a small angle, about like how this block is now. And then place the right block flat. Left block flat. Place your right hand and then your left hand on your right hand. And press firmly down. Lift the base of your skull. Do your best to activate the muscles of your legs from your feet to your hips. And keeping the base of your skull lifted, so really the back of the neck and even the back of the throat could feel a little bit more broad. Now keep your right arm strong and please rest your left hand across the back of your sacrum. And as you twist your heart to the left, start gazing to your right on the floor. So the strength of your right arm is really essential here. The left shoulder can pull back sweetly, almost like a decoration, but the left shoulder can't make the twist in this case. As you're gazing to the right, notice the calm steadiness that you're gazing with, or if your eyes have become urgent or activated, what might you do? And bring your left hand down to place on your right hand. Press firmly. And then bend your left knee. Place the two blocks. And one more time, step backwards. Downward dog pose. Let's breathe in smoothly to the lower belly. Exhale, glide forward to plank. Inhale to seal pose, roll through, and raise your heart and your gaze. And then exhale, shoulders back, cobra pose. Inhale, seal pose. Root down to roll up. And exhale now, child's pose. Bring the big toes together if you like. Place one block for your head. Turn your forearms, palms face up. My hope is that the height of the block for your head, which could be 2 blocks if you prefer, but this height lets your elbows reach the floor comfortably and to relax between the shoulder blades, the sides of your neck, the base of your skull. And then please walk your hands back towards your knees and rise up to kneeling. Okay, now we're going to do something with the blocks that is easier to teach when you're in person. So let me get my thoughts together here for a moment. We did a portion of this yesterday in our teacher training module. Let's see how we can do it. I will show you so that you can see the top of my head and my arm. So this block is going to go on the tall setting. And what's really important here is that this is a very stable block. It's not a squishy block. It's not like a squeeze the Charmin block. If you have a squishy block, it's kind of a liability. I would prefer you have a firm block. So if you have a squishy block, please watch carefully and proceed thoughtfully. So what I'm going to do is place the base of my shoulder blades at the first edge of the block. Also, a block that's too thin is going to be unstable. So this is a standard yoga block here, and I'm leaning back over it. So the bottom 2 corners of the block are at the bottom 2 corners of the shoulder blades. When I come over like this, my next interest for you is to take your arm, palm face down, and then the palm's going to be facing out. So right now the back of my right hand is against the edge of the block. And when I reach over to hold my right elbow, I'm able to cradle my head in this position. So there is a stretch for the right tricep, but I'm really more interested in your upper back and your upper right chest and your neck. I am cradling my head with my arms. Okay, so let me turn to a profile view and we'll try it together. And I'm crossing my fingers that you all have stable blocks at home. I know sometimes you make an order from a yoga supply company and they send you a squishy block and you have to send it back and so on. It's good self-advocacy. No squishy blocks. So let's do the right side first. You can take your right arm up towards the ceiling. Turn your palm to face the wall behind you. Bring your arm overhead, and as you bend your elbow, your hand is on the side of the block. It's the back of your hand that's on the side of the block. Cross your left hand over to hold your right elbow. And lean back into the supported back bend with the firm corners of the block pressing so lovingly into your mid-thoracic spine at the base of your shoulder blades. Let's see how you can breathe deeply, affectionately, with gratitude. Okay, and now release your right arm straight, so please hold your head with your left hand. And then raise your right arm up. You can look forward for a moment. We're going to change sides. So left arm up towards the ceiling, bend your left elbow, place that hand along the side of the block so that it's the back of your hand on the side of the block. And as you go to hold your left elbow, I hope that you are bracing your head with your arms so it's not dangling back behind you. You may have two very different shoulders or arms. I have a different experience with mine, left to right. Some of those life events going back to breaking my arm in the 2nd grade while doing gymnastics on the back patio of my parents' home. And other life events, sporting events, and so on. So you may also have differences left to right, and we treat the differences with respect. Okay, now we're going to rise up. So hold your head with your right hand, straighten your left arm like an arrow. And then using your neck strength, reach both arms like an arrow, and you can go over the back of the block like a little back bend. So the block didn't move, I moved on the block, and because I have a stable block, now the corners of the block are near the upper corners of my shoulder blades. You can take the arms out into a kind of cactus pose. Your elbows will not reach the floor. It's not meant to happen. See what can occur with opening your heart and your throat. And then reach the arms straight again like an arrow. And now as you lower your hips down, please hold the back of your head and then start looking forward. Straighten one leg and then the other and rise up to sit. Okay, and the upper back has had an adventure, right? So let's take that adventure into Shavasana so we can see at the end of class now, what is this capacity you're going to have in your Jalandhara Bandha. So please take 2 blankets for this Shavasana, and I'm going to ask you to do something a little bit unusual. Open the blanket, this is not unusual yet, and fold it length to length in half twice, and place this on your yoga mat lengthwise. Do the same with the other one. And you can stack them length to length like this. And put your 2 blocks, they're going to be there for your feet. So I'm going to sit on this blanket. The 2 blocks here are going where my feet are going. And I don't quite know where to be until I lie down. So please watch when you lie down. I want you to start by lying down with your head on the blanket. And then you're going to scoot yourself backwards. So this is like a backwards inchworm. So I scoot back until I can sense that the very edge of the blanket is at the base of my skull, at the occipital ridge. Okay. And that when I rest there, I have a little bit of traction for the occipital ridge to start. This is not our resting position, but we're moving towards our resting position. So I have my knees bent and my feet on those 2 blocks so that this little bit of traction right now for the cervical spine is very comfortable. And again, where is my head? The base of the skull is at the edge of the 2 stacked blankets. You can come down and rest your arms on the floor, palms face down. And place your awareness at the base of the skull where the blanket is. This is not our forever shavasana, but we are going to be here for a short time to let this experience occur for your neck and for your throat. Allow your mind to drop in to your heart. Invite your heart to energetically flow towards your mind through the throat and in towards your brain. So your gaze can be in and down towards your heart. The heart offers itself through the pathway of the throat, up towards the head and the brain, the mind, your senses. Now, having had that bit of traction there for the neck and the cervical spine, reach up to hold your head with both hands, clasp them behind your head, and make your backwards inchworm until you have the 2 upper corners of the shoulder blades have just come off of those blankets. And then you can lay your legs out so that your feet go on your 2 blocks, and the blocks are on the medium height, so your feet are not lower than your pelvis. And the arms come out to the sides near your torso, palms face down. Now this is a supported pose. We actually call it the honey drip pose. And the heart is higher than the throat. The neck is neither in big extension nor in big flexion. Palms face down, allow your shoulders to relax towards the floor. They will not likely touch the floor. With your legs supported by the blocks under your heels, ankles, and calves. We don't want your lumbar spine to feel compromised here. Therefore, those blocks are on the medium setting. Your feet are a tiny bit higher than your hips in that way. So encourage your mind to relax, to deeply relax. Relax your shoulders so they are heavy towards the ground even though they don't touch.
You may soften any unnecessary tension surrounding your collarbones. Imagine your throat deeply softening, the back of the throat hollow and relaxed. Allow the mind to be deeply at ease. This is a supported shavasana. You don't have to make the efforts. Together, the position and gravity are making the medicine happen for you. Invite the mind to be quiet. A few moments more, please. You can lightly bring awareness to your body. Bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor. The blocks are probably too far away to put your feet on them, but if you can reach them, you can do that. And then Gently lift your head and turn your nose as far as you can to your right. Come back to center. Lift your head and turn to your left. So then you can place your head down once you've turned it. Turn as far as you comfortably can to your left. Notice what your right shoulder does in response to that. Roll your head to center. Take your right arm overhead. Step your left foot over the blanket and roll down to your side. And then use both hands to come up to sit. And take a seat that you can enjoy for meditation. When you first come to sitting upright, spend a moment noticing your neck and your shoulders there. And then if you're sitting cross-legged, you can rest your hands out over your knees. Yeah. If you're sitting in a kneeling position, you can rest your hands forward on your knees. And please close your eyes. So Jalandhara Bandha is one of the yoga tools for helping to cultivate a more quiet mind. So what we're going to do here is, as you're sitting for meditation, roll the collarbones up at the center, just slightly. Widen your collarbones out towards your shoulders, also slightly. Begin to lift the base of your skull. So your chin is going to come down and slightly in towards your throat. And make a very subtle ujjayi breath, almost like you're whispering the breath into the body, and let that subtle inhale come up to the heart. You want to sense that the breath lifts the sternum up towards your chin. Tiny suspension of the inhale there. And then exhale while keeping the heart lifted. And then relax the breath and maintain your posture. You may be noticing many nuanced sensations from the work we just did at the end of that sequence. I invite you to sift through the nuanced sensation to see if there's an inner stillness, deeper than all sensation and deeper than all thought. It's also possible that your body does not need a huge quantity of breath right now. Please bring your hands together at your heart. Notice the feeling of the heart, the throat. Go into the upper palate and even sense what's happening behind the third eye. We're going to chant the sound of Om to finish class. The A, the Ah sound is in the heart. The U is in the throat, moving upwards. The M is in the upper palate as the lips come inside the teeth to vibrate. And the silence is up at the sixth chakra. So Om is spelled A-U-M, silence. We'll chant it 3 times. At the end of each Om, we'll rest in that silence before the next one. Please inhale. 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 Relax the breath and the bandhas. You can lift your head and acknowledging your efforts to be here and everyone else's efforts too. Thank you to everyone, and to our teachers, my teachers, and our teachers' teachers. Namaste. And thank you to your teachers and my teachers and our teachers' teachers for sharing the tradition of yoga. Yeah, I would love to know how you are feeling now.